Switch and Bank, your leader in personal banking services.
Peace 107.5 FM, the air of success.
We are in the 5 o'clock hour, and if it's 5 o'clock, it's hard copy. Hard copy is a presentation of the McKinney Media Group, copyrights 2017, all rights reserved. The views, statements, and opinions of guests expressed on this show do not necessarily reflect the views of the host, sponsors, or operators of this radio station. No part of this program may be copied or reproduced in full or in part without the express written consent of the producers, the McKinney Media Group. This is Hard Copy on the McKinney Broadcasting Radio Network. Hard Copy, as you know, seeks to lay out the facts in simple fashion for the inclusion of all Bahamians and Bahamians at heart. The focus every day to move forthright in our manner to build a progressive and developing country. Our desire is for a Bahamas with a competent, skillful, and productive workforce. We want a country that can feed and sustain itself. We want a country with a brilliant, visionary action plan ready to embrace a future of hope and prosperity. We encourage like-minded Bahamians, just like you, to participate with intelligent and honest contributions. After all, my friends, we have a country to build. We've got jobs and industry to create, a people to inspire and empower, and generations of born and unborn Bahamians, we the people must protect and plan for. And if not you, then who? If not now, then when? Today on Hard Copy, we've got to tell you things bad. Things are shabby. Things are bad. But not if you're listening to the other choir. They're saying, things good, never better than before.
If you're suffering from a foot injury or disorder, make plans to visit Bahamas Foot and Ankle on Blake Road in Western New Providence. There they treat a number
It is Tuesday, the 7th day in the month of February 2017 as you battle the congested city streets and drive home traffic. We have clear skies for you this evening and 80 degrees on the outside right now in the nation's capital. There's a low of 75 thereabouts tonight. Thank you so much for joining us on the drive home. I'm Steve McKinney. This is Hard Copy, and we are brought to you today by Bahamas Foot and Ankle on Blake Road, Mount Tabor Inspiration, Ministry of Tourism, the domestic tourism side of things, Hadji's, your everything store, Commonwealth Bank, the new debit card, Rocky Farms Nursery on Seabreeze Lane. We're also brought to you by the Free National Movement Big Grill and Chill this weekend, Cool Tech, the Air Can Do experts on Tonique Williams Darling Highway, Bahamian Brewery and Beverages, Clean Insurance for comprehensive coverage, Super Wash, open 24/7, Bank of the Bahamas, the Bank of Solutions, Super Value, the All Bahamian Supermarkets, the Show Bistro on Nassau Street, Managers, Shores and Brokers, 61 Collins Avenue, Ron's Electric Motors, Clarendon Wolf Road, Executive Printers, they do printing right. They're located on Jerome Avenue, and the McKinney Media Group for the best results in advertisements. Call us today on Hot Copy 325-0235 or 6 or 325-0252 or 3. That's toll free. And you can WhatsApp and text us at 376-9234. Follow us on the World Wide Web, peace1075.com. Go to our Hard Copy YouTube channel to see us live. Cable Top Box 970. Tune in radio, iPad, iPhone, and the Android. You'll get us. Follow us on Facebook and on Twitter, Hard Copy Bahamas. And that's just the way it is. Now, my friends, if you pay any mind to Perry Christie them, life is simply beautiful. Hear me now. Things good, things dead good. Everybody is working is what they're saying. We just added another 32,000 jobs to the job market, and everyone working who want to work. Only those people who don't want to work are not working. That's the talk. That's the propaganda. That's the language. That's what they're saying on that side of the fence. Man, things are so good. Even the people in Grand Bahama got money to spare. Is what they're saying. It's according to the government. And all around Nassau, people them waking, is what they're also saying. They're cleaning up, fixing up, building sidewalks, moving debris from Hurricane Matthew, finally. Bottom line, everybody working. That's what they saying. But in reality, the truth of the matter is, things bad. Bad, bad, bad. Things are bad. No question about it. Only he who feels it knows it. Things so bad, this was the worst Super Bowl Sunday in many years. Those Super Bowl parties appeared to now be a thing of the past, man. Appeared to be a thing of the past as everybody were experienced the good times one time ago, but not this time, not Super Bowl Sunday. And this had nothing to do with who won or lost. This was the economic condition of our state of affairs in Nassau, Grand Bahama, Abaco, and all over the place. Things bad. That's the reality. This year, you couldn't find a Super Bowl party to go to. Did you check that out? That's how bad things are. And you see, you can gauge this by what happens in the United States and how we feel the flavor of things. And, you know, we spotty. We want to show off. Maybe we supposed to have our Super Bowl parties left, right, and center. You walk out of this house, you go into that house right across the road, party swinging, bears flowing, and everything else you can think of. But things seem to be bad. Soul Brother, that's us, just didn't have time to wine and dine and entertain the crowds this Super Bowl. It was just the reality check, the reality of rough times in our Bahamas. Welcome to the world of junk bond status. This is a reality where our debt ratio to GDP is at 75% and soaring. This is how bad things are. You all want a reality check. This is the reality check today. Things bad. Welcome to the land of little. Used to be the land of much one time. Now we say welcome to the land of little. and the escapades of high crime where mayhem and murder stalks the town that never sleeps. Welcome to the welfare state, where there is a man, woman, boy, and girl on every street corner begging alms in the name of the poor. But in reality, they're hustling for themselves in many cases just to make ends meet. Things bad. And we have to tell you that definitively like that, because these days people lie in so much but everything. You may take a lie for the truth and decide that, well, things must be good because they say so. No, I come to tell you things bad. Now, what do we do when things are so bad the way it is? We've got to hunker down, put on our thinking caps, plan for the future by being very frugal, and make sure that we do what the government don't want to do. Reel in spending and tighten your belt. That's how bad things are. You don't have to believe me. Just go and check the mortgages at the various banks. Look at the newspapers and see the double truck. That is a term in newspaper printing, the double truck of all the ads and stuff daily in the newspapers for people's homes that have gone up in smoke in many regards. And you have to get the picture, the reality check of things being bad. And when we look around, we have to say there's a whole lot to be done. A whole lot to be done in our country to put things in context and perspective. When you contrast how bad things are, and you say that the people are telling you things are good. See, because if we're getting all these jobs, if we spend the money on VAT, if we did all these things and being the caretakers that we're supposed to be, responsible caretakers, then we wouldn't have this picture to paint of how things are so bad, because we have a debt ratio that's climbing too far for us. We have the national debt that continues to grow. And these are things on a major scale. But this has come right down to the point where it is touching the little fella in his pocket and the average person trying to go to school locally, and children who are going to school looking for lunch money and the rest of it. Things bad. Parents ain't got it. Bills aren't being paid. Maybe it's the beginning of the year that things have caught us in a bad way, but no, I think it's poor management all around by government substantially and by individuals in particular. And people are feeling it now. And you can measure it by certain events that are happening. Things are bad, I tell you, all around for the Bahamian. When you want to talk about bad and you really weigh this thing in the balance and you see what you got, man, for the Bahamian, things dead bad. The foreigners and the international Chinese run things, period. They are in charge of the government. They are in charge of the agriculture and the fisheries. They're in charge of the forestry and the seaports, the construction industry and the job market, because only they can call the shots when they have a project and declare to our Mickey Mouse government officials that they will control the labor, to the disadvantage of raw-born Bahamians who pack the lines of the unemployed. And you can tell me things good. I make the case today that things are bad. I want you. Your job today is to challenge me and tell me how good things are. Now, of course, in everything we give God thanks. We give God thanks for every little thing that he has blessed us with. But at the end of the day, when you look at things on an average of what mankind can do to fail us, talking about how good things are, you've got to bring a balance here, because things cannot be good if, in fact, everybody doing bad. Things cannot be good if, in fact, people can't get a job. I mean, you hear the amount of jobs that they told you that is out there. You see that they are giving jobs to everybody. As far as we are concerned, by perception, that this one sweeping the road, this one moving the garbage, this one doing that. Yeah, but I mean, let's look at them. What do they mean? What kind of jobs are these? And there's dignity in work, I'm saying. No, I'm not disputing that. But what kind of jobs are these tangible things that we can go to the bank on, that we can hold on to and say, boy, we got a piece of the pie, things good. Things bad. And I only tell you that way so deliberately today because there are people out there insisting that things are beautiful. Everything is beautiful. I suppose everything is relative too. Maybe it's beautiful because there are some people who have lied to themselves, since that's the new thing in town now. You just lie yourself into oblivion. You just lie about things and you fool yourself and you say, boy, things good. I mean, what's all this stuff about? So this one says, we've done this and we've done that and we've done the other thing and don't worry about it. Now they've added more misery to the whole stock. They say, you know, look, we have sold Bahama. You don't have to worry. We've got jobs coming. What do we believe? What is it that we can put our hat on? We've been told that things are good. We know we don't feel it. We've been told that there are jobs here, there, and everywhere. We hear that, but we don't feel it. We've been told that there's going to be more jobs coming because things are so good and looking up. And that is not what the report says. That's what the politicians are saying. But the report says that we have been downgraded to junk bond status. 1. 2, we are being watched by the OECD nations to make sure that they can further penalize us because we have not been taking good inventory and good stock of the number 2 industry, which is financial services. But they say things are good. So let me hear those persons who can put the argument forth for the government of the Bahamas or for themselves that things are picture perfect, that things are good. I'm listening today because I've just come to challenge you that if things are so good, then I want you to just reassure my brothers and sisters down there at Memories and the other places that you no need to worry. Things are perfect. Things are good. I can tell you the reality has set in for the people at Memories in Freeport, Grand Bahama, because you know what? Today they begun the process of collecting their disengagement packages, their redundancy pays, whatever you want to call it. They started to collect that today, which means that those jobs that were taken off the market because of this failed proposition by Sunwing, it means that it's for real. That's what it means. Pinch yourself. It's for real. Pinch yourself, as you said. It's for real. You feel that? That's how for real it is. It's for real. And it wasn't just 400 jobs as we had been talking about in media and that they had told us. You see, a lot of things, you can't trust and believe a lot of things that you are hearing and seeing. Some press release came out and said about 400 jobs will be lost. And we said, okay, that's a lot of jobs, but at least, you know, it ain't as bad as 6 that we saw at Sandals. Then the next thing we know, the people who are making the payout, they're paying out to the tune of 600 jobs that have been lost at Memories. 600, not 400. You see, you may say, well, what is a couple of extra 100 jobs? It's the difference between real life and fake life. Are we fakes? This is your reality check today. You want to know how good things are. All one has to do is measure the lack of parties and football gatherings this time around, and you will get the picture that people doing bad or things just ain't that good to even go and be extravagant. That simple little thing. And I challenge you to tell me different, because there's a lot more that I can tell you today as to where this has come from. The point is, we need to come to terms with the reality that things are bad and we need to do something about it to get it better. Now, that's something I plan to tackle in a while, but I'll tell you, it's a long, long way from now to do something about it. How do we do something about an economy that's been shot down and will be perhaps in the doldrums for another 3 years? How do we deal with it? See, that's your reality. You've got to wake up to that reality so that you may start to plan and figure out, what do we do next? The sweetest thing that's happening for the PLP government right now is that they're getting ready for an election. To them, that's the biggest relief in the world, because the way that this train is going right now, This is a runaway train. There's no hope in sight unless they can call an election, and hopefully the people will be so fooled again based upon what they've been telling them that they'll vote them back in and they can start afresh for another 5 years of more misery. That's the reality. If you got something different to tell me, I'm listening, because things are bad. That's from where I sit, from what I see. What do you see, friends? What do you see? 325-0235 or 6 is how you can call me today on this open line Tuesday in the Bahamas, where you can, talk about it. Get it off your chest now. I say things are bad. You say things are good. Tell me about them. You say things are bad too. Cry with me. Maybe we can turn some things around and get some people to focus on what we're supposed to be focusing on, like the financial services sector. Lord knows that there's some things coming down the pipe that is very, very scary. You hear me be saying this every other day to you, trying to put you on warning. Don't mind what these people are telling you, because they talk in their own propaganda that fits their narrative that things are good. Are things good with you? Come on now. Are things good with you? Are you able to see your way clear? Are things good in business? Are things good with all the things that you had planned to be happening around this time in this month? Are things good with the advertisement as far as Valentine's Day is concerned? You can measure it, in your own way. You can measure it. How are things going in your neck of the woods? Because they got me thinking that things good. They say things are good. They say everything that they're doing is for the betterment of this country and that things are beautiful. Are things beautiful in your neck of the woods? I know in Grand Bahama, they sucking their teeth so hard you could hear it from here. Things are what? Good? Are you crazy? Are you kidding me? It's a simple little thing that I want to do today on the show, to hear you tell me just how good things are. Is that a challenge for you? It shouldn't be a challenge, because since the government has been telling us all these beautiful things, it got to be good. You stoke me today and tell me how bad or how good things are, because from where I sit and when I'm looking at, things are bad. That's my premise. What's your premise? 325-0235 or 6, 325-0242 or 43. Toll free today from around the islands, 325-0252 or 53. I want to hear from you. You can WhatsApp and text me as well at 3769234. And we are listening out for you. They say, everybody waking. That's what they're saying. They say, don't worry, be happy. All the nice slogans and all the nice catchphrases they're telling us. Don't worry, things are going to get easier. Things are going to get better. Things are going to get brighter. Ooh, child, things are just beautiful. How are they in your neck of the woods? I've given you some pointers. 32,000 jobs. Maybe you are the holder of one of those jobs. So maybe things are good. I'm listening to you today. I'm listening to you. All right, so you can give me a call at 325-0235 or 6, and I'm taking your calls. Hard copy, how you doing? I'm sorry, okay, 325-0242 or 43. You can stay on the line once you call me. Wait a second, let me just make sure my phone lines are up and running there, and you can call me. If things are good, you let me know, and you tell me how they are, because I told you, just looking at the past weekend of football, I checked it out. I realized that, boy, hey, things look shabby. Things look shabby. And as I run to the break and cue you up to be a part of what is happening here today, I'm reminded that things shabby. This is Funky D. Things shabby. We're back in a minute. This is Hard Copy.
Don't know how I get this far, man, thing shabby. No money in the bank, talk my landlord every night. Be easy, turn up my life, man, thing shabby. Say my guy walk out on me, cause thing shabby. She say, look and go can be together, thing shabby.
Steve McKinney, live Drive Time Talk.
You've got some explaining to do, Steve.
Mr. Ambassador, don't preempt me on that. I will get to that specifically.
We are-
but I'm talking generally about the relationship with the Bahamas and the United States.
Welcome back to Hard Copy. Good afternoon. It's our pleasure to be in your company today on this things kind of shabby Tuesday because of the fact that, we are just putting the question front and center to all and sundry who are telling us that things are good. This is your opportunity to defend the propaganda, because that's what I call it. You have to be able to state facts. And even when people are trying to state facts, they're getting mixed up with fiction. And they're telling us all kinds of things that just don't pan out. 32,000 jobs sounds wonderful. If I was somewhere far and I hear that, I say, boy, they're really growing that economy. But when I compare that with what the people are saying from Standards & Poor's and Moody's and the rest of them, they're saying that we're not going to grow this economy by any means necessary or that will be important to our growth and development anytime soon. In other words, we're not going to see any real growth in the economy at this particular time, at least until 2019. This is what they're saying, not me. This is what they've told the government, not somebody else, not the opposition forces. The government have been told that, listen, man, you guys have got to reel spending in, pull things together, and get up off your high horses talking foolishness, because that's what it amounts to. Things are bad. Things are not good. And you can feel it in the atmosphere. You can feel it. Now, we don't like it being bad. We want it to be good. But you got to make it good by making the right policies to make it happen. And certainly the policies that we've seen so far has been policies of propaganda. You can't propagandize your way into things being good. You've got to feel it and touch it for us to know that things are good. We've got to sense it in the economy to know that things are good. Businesses can tell you that things are not good. Businesses are suffering. They're not doing well at all. Yet there are some who will tell us things are beautiful. Hard Copy, how you doing today?
Hey, Miss Kidding.
Hi there, how are you?
You all right?
Hi, good. How are you?
All right, sir. I have a problem here.
Well, sound like you got problems. I'm listening.
Yeah, let me ask you a question.
Mhm.
You got a house for mortgage cover, right?
Yeah, I'm listening.
Mortgage.
You
And
need to-
anything happened to your house, you forced to go back to mortgage cover and say something happened to your house, right? You paying mortgage.
Yeah, if you're paying mortgage, it's your responsibility, it's your house. But, if there's something that happens drastically, I suppose that you want to inform them. Like if you can't pay the insurance on the house, you need to let them know so that they can
I got
make
23
sure.
years to pay for my house.
Mm-hmm.
Got 10 more years on my house, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I went to them, they give me my house with bath, septic, and soak away, Miss Kinney. Every time I got pumped 3 and 4 times a year. Now, come on now. And every time the truck come, that 190 a load, right? You are how much money that. I went to Market Cup and I told them I tired pumping now. December, they send the truck. The truck was deep 150 feet down in the ground. Right? The fella charged them $5,000. The deco, the well.
So you sound like you're in a bad area as far as you shouldn't be pumping that many times. Turn off your radio, sir, if you're going to talk with me, because I can't have this conversation with 3 different things going. Are you turning your radio off? Talk to me now. I'm listening to you.
Yes, and I went to them. The minister, see, the prime minister, no.
No, listen, it has nothing to do with the prime minister. You have a situation with the mortgage corporation. You have a situation with your home. You need to go and deal with that because of the fact that you're paying for this home. It seems to be in a bad area. I don't know why you would have a home in an area that's perhaps saturated with water, or you have a pumping problem or a cesspool problem.
I understand. They pick the cesspool in the pond. And every time you see the pond overflowed in the tide, the cesspool full up.
Sound like you need to move, man. You need to see if you can find to relocate. That doesn't sound like a good situation. That's the long and short of it.
They pay me my fund back. The fellow told me, Mr. Musty told me that the minister said he even never signed for me. I got my money back.
Well, I don't know. Sound like you got to take it up with them. I'm dealing with, I know your situation is one that's a big concern to you. It sounds like there's much more to it than I can tell you that's happening. I need to find out a whole lot of things about why your situation is like that, because you got recourse. There's always recourse that you have. You can find yourself a good lawyer, deal with the matter through that particular avenue. You can go sit down with the movers and shakers of the mortgage corporation, and they will give you the rundown. I mean, if the house is unlivable because of the conditions around it, you've got to go and sit down soberly, talk with those people, and see what you can come up with. I think that's the best thing I can tell you there on that particular issue.
And again, and the Prime Minister said no. Them MP and the minister. Prime Minister ain't good for this country. He ain't good.
Well, maybe you should go and see him. Maybe you should. No, I'm not saying that you are. I'm saying maybe if you have that kind of confidence in him, you need to go and see him so that you can get your situation sorted out. That's the way I see that. Hard copy, how are you? Hard copy, how are you? I'm listening. Go ahead. Okay, I don't have anything. You can call me 325-0235 or 6, 325-0242 or 43. Are there any people out there who, in fact, understand our dire straits that we are in? You know, that situation with the gentleman just now at the home and all that, he has a problem. He needs to go and deal with that. Seriously and soberly deal with that matter. But I'm talking from a position of our country. We got to be sober-minded enough to know that we won't have any house at all in this town if, in fact, we keep running things the way we've been running it in this town, because there won't be any town to have anything in. That's what I'm getting at. Yet we've been told that things are beautiful. You've got to think about it. You've got to really put on your thinking cap and see the big picture, you know, because a lot of you are just in a state of affairs of whatever happened. And this is one of the reasons, my friends, why we have this voter apathy that you're seeing. You hear everybody talking about the voter apathy, you know, meaning that people don't seem to be too willing to go and register to vote. There's a reason for that. People have real problems. They have real things that need quick attention, and they can't move until they are sorted out. It's just human nature. Nobody can really move unless things are sorted out to the point where they feel a little bit better about the situation. But if you are in a position where things are so great, then how come you're not shouting and jumping up and down if things are really great? And my point is precisely that. Things are so bad that we have people who are now apathetic. They are in a position of, man, I ain't into that, I ain't into that, I ain't into this, I ain't into that. No compliance, no active participation, little productivity because of the state of affairs. That's what really happened. You want to know why the fella ain't coming to work? You want to know why if you tell the fella come to work tomorrow and he don't come, why he doesn't seem to him that he'll lose his job? You want to know? It's because no one really cares. They don't care about a lot of things right now because of where we are. Trust me on that. If you were to take a look at government corporations and agencies, it's pathetic. People don't go to work. They're on the government payroll. They don't go to work. They don't feel compelled. There's no fiscal prudence to make sure that people come to work. But we have to find monies to pay them all the time. That's just the state of affairs of how people feel. They ain't too particular. Things shabby. Things in a bad way. But I'm waiting for calls to tell me how wonderful things are, because that's what we're being sold. You're being sold that things are wonderful, and I'm waiting on people to tell me where they are wonderful and how wonderful they are. I've come to challenge you on that simple little matter today, simple little thing. All you got to do is call me and tell me this is what is happening, and that's why we should be happy. But I tell you, you can. You'll find it hard pressed to do so because things shabby. That's the truth of the matter. And no amount of Michael Alquitas telling you all the sweet things that you want to hear, or any of those ministers. It's all conjecture and promise and hope. That's it. But when you come to the tangibles, oh no, The tangibles have been written. This the deal, says Standards and Poor's. You don't do this, this won't happen. You do this, this will happen. Junk bond status is your reality. That's your reality. Check it out. You don't want to like that, but that's the reality. 325-023-516 is how you can call me today. I'm listening out for all and sundry who want to participate today, because my next question on this whole episode is, if things are so good, why do we have a problem returning the PLP to office? I mean, come now, let's be realistic. Let's be practical. If these guys have done all these wonderful things that they told you that they have done, and things are beautiful and not shabby, and things are prosperous and moving on, and we're moving on up, what's your problem? Why wouldn't you put them back in? That sounds like they're stable and they know what they're doing. Ah, you're getting the picture now. Well, why not put them back in? I mean, after all, the perception is that the Free National Movement ain't ready, even though I know that's not true, that they are more ready than we know. But that's what the perception is. That's what's being sold. Well, what you waiting for? If things are so beautiful and we are satisfied with our situation, you need to go with what you know. Fellas who know what they're doing, right? I mean, that's a logical thing to do. It's the most rational thing to do. But you know and I know that things ain't so. You know it's propaganda. You know things shabby. Hard copy, how are you?
Yes, Brother McKinney, how you doing?
Hi, good.
Very well. Just to touch base on the subject what you are on, my Lord, Mr. McKinney, it doesn't take a man home can see to know what type of condition is in this country.
But you know something, my friend? Let me just stop you there. I used to think the same thing. I used to say, man, the people could see. This is obvious. You stating the obvious. But guess what? I used to think that too, but that ain't so. I am stating something that's unbelievable. This cannot be true. Things cannot be bad. I put it to you. That is what people will be left to think when you believe that, my goodness, man, you can see that things bad. And you saying things shabby, we know that. That ain't so. You've got thousands of Bahamians out there right now who are really believing that they are getting one of them 32,000, or they have one of them 32,000 jobs, and that things are beautiful and they ain't got a thing to worry about. But they're losing homes. They can't pay the bills. And BC ain't even merciful to them. But their reality does not line up with what the propaganda is that they want to believe. That's why I put the show on today, just because it's an obvious statement that things are shabby, but no, people are believing that things are beautiful.
That is one of the reasons why, Brother McKinney, I takes the time out to call your show, because from since I tend to listen to this show, it makes complete sense and it educates the general populace who want it to be educated.
Mm-hmm.
Now, hear me if you please.
I'm listening.
Kenny, the people whom I'm speaking about in the island where I'm from, Eleuthera.
Yes, sir.
The people whom are wearing the red, they needed to begin to sing the song, "If Jesus go with me, I'll go," because ain't nothing left in this country, this side, to feed your family and to take care of your bills and what's not.
Nothing to laugh at, but really true. Mm-hmm.
I'm a man, I have a family, and I have children.
Mm-hmm.
And when I can't feed my children, you know, that portion of the Bible would say the Spirit of God don't dwell within man. I ain't going to see my children and my grandchildren hungry.
Mm-hmm.
So all I'm saying is I have to feed them somehow or the other. I have
Understood.
never in my lifetime seen condition as bad as this in this country.
Mm-hmm.
And these outlaws are going around from island to island and trying to brainwash the underprivileged to believe, or making people believe that things are so good in these islands. Man, let me tell you something, Mr. McKinney. It's a number of sad eyes in these communities, and you know what got their eyes so sad?
What?
They don't know when they had the last time they had a hot meal. What they gonna get it with? Social service only could entertain them at a certain time of the month, and when you go further down the road to look at it, man, after all, if you're wearing red, white, blue, green, pink, or what, all of us are Bahamians.
No question.
well, I'm there in the red, and I'm not a sucker bitch. Want my hand stretched out for nothing. All I ask them to provide opportunities in this country and stop lying to the people. That's what I'm doing.
I understand.
But you see, many people, they rather stand on the side and they would lambaste me or the other man who stand up and speak the truth. Oh, well, what he talking about? And right now, well, I'm fortunate enough, my son and my children have my light on food in the house as today is now. But guess what? Plenty of these, especially the blind, the crippled, and the crazy, what you see being around those conventions and stuff, Mr. McKinney, I'm speaking for South and certain parts of Central Luther. God knows that they don't know the last time they still light only daylight.
My Lord.
The house and water.
Yet they come because they're programmed to come and be a part of these kinds of happenings, eh?
That's right. That's the only reason why they come. And some of those, they would have wished they never come back because, you know, to go on down there and see all of that light power and NASA and to come back here in blind darkness, it's a dying shame. Oh, let me,
Sorry.
And I'm gone. Mr. McKinney, I have a feeling, in case I'm gone on before, you remember this voice, I'm sure you will. The PLP are going to go down this time just like Robin Hood. You know when you open your car hood and you shut it? Well, that's the way they're going to go down this time. You let them stay right there and dwell on their loyals. The FNM are ready. Man, to sit down. The FNM is so ready. Tell them ring the bell tonight if they won't know how ready the FNM is. And they will see the results a couple hours after the poll closed. Thank you, Brother McKinney, and you have a good night.
I appreciate it. Thank you much. Well, you know, one of the things that's quite interesting is that there are people who look at our situation and say, you know, this is grave. I mean, we need a breakthrough somehow, somewhere that the people themselves could feel a little satisfied. I don't believe that the people in the country, even PLPs, I don't believe that they are happy and satisfied with the way things are, the state of affairs. But then again, that's another story, because you see the same thing. You hear the gentleman just now. He says that people would have come down from Eleuthera, despite knowing the conditions and where they were going and knowing what the conditions are at home. They came down and did their thing, what they had to do. And when they finished, they went back to where they came from, which is to return to misery. That's what the gentleman is telling me. How many other areas were like that? You see, the glitz and glamour is one thing, and it's all a big part, and it's beautiful. You know, look here, I can't blame people to take a break from misery and go enjoy a little bit of libation and be happy. I can't blame you. It's human nature. But you've got to be able to lobby and say, look, man, we have got to get things together in our neighborhood. We've got to get rid of this crime because things are bad. We are fearful of our lives because things are bad. We've got to find ways and means to get jobs in our communities because, you know, we just got to do it because we have to survive. But we are contented that the Chinese, and I don't mean to make anything with nationalities because, you know, I'm talking Bahamianese now when I talk in Chinese, because I want you to understand what I'm saying. It's not the nationality of people, it's the culture of a people that have come and they are just running amok and doing what they feel like. And they're doing it at the behest of our government. Our government is fully responsible. They know what the deal is. They have not been honest with us. They have not told us the truth about a lot of things. And they want you to defend the cause. Just as a good person who's wearing the yellow and the gold. Defend the cause and say things are good. Can you just tell them today that things are good? Because, you know, they listen out to hear that things are good. I'm asking you to give yourself a reality check. Let me take some calls. 325-023546. Hard copy, how you doing today?
Good afternoon, Steve. How you doing?
Peace and love. I'm good.
There is absolutely nobody in this nation that can disagree with what you're saying today.
You think so?
The only ones that can disagree with you is family, friends, and lovers. The ones that are profiting from what is going on right now. Let me tell you something. The Prime Minister now rides around in a Lexus.
Yeah.
Is that right?
So I understand. I don't know if it's true. I haven't seen it myself, but they tell me on these pictures on Facebook and the rest of it, say that's what's happening now, that he's got a Lexus and a BMW or something, or Mercedes or something.
But Steve, you ride around in a vehicle like that when your economy is great, when when employment is at all-time high, crime is at all-time low. That car is a reflection of your leadership.
Well, that's true.
Come on, man, what are we doing?
You know, if he was to really reflect where we are now in the country and trying to impress Standards and Poor's and Moody's, who are getting ready to mess with us again with another downgrade, he would be driving a little Volkswagen, and not the kind that I see these nice, pretty Volkswagen. He'd be driving one of them little Beetle, you know, which is standard shift. He'd be driving one of them.
Because
you know, what do they call the bugs?
Absolutely. That in itself reflects where we are today.
No question.
Like you say every day on your show, we failed to create industry for people. You know what we've done? We've placed it all in the hands of our number houses where...
Well, there you go.
You go there and you...
Pie in the sky dream.
Absolutely.
You know?
We can't go on like this.
Well, you know, listen, you said something just now. We can't go on like this. But guess what? Don't you see us going on like this? Because every Tom, Dick, and Harry has decided that he is going to put his hope and faith and belief into the elusive numbers game. And that is what has happened. We have amplified the vices of our country, all the things that are wrong, and we have made them the spotlight. And it's hurting the people. But you know who did this? The same people who refused to decide that even though the people voted and say, we don't want that, and expected Mr. Christie to do the right thing and just get rid of these things, what has happened? There are number houses on every corner and every constituency on every family islands. One family island, I think, one of the smallest family islands of population, got 17 on them. You know, we've got to be joking. We've got to be joking as a people. If that's what we want, then we're getting it. Because things are good.
The purpose is to destroy the Bahamian people at all cost. To sum it up, that's the only thing I can say.
Yeah, it's to destroy us, eh?
Yeah.
Well, we have to have the good sense of knowing that this ain't good for us.
No, it's not.
That we ain't getting nowhere with this. This is not prosperous for the nation. And even the moral gatekeepers of these kinds of situations have been quieted. I mean, there's nothing much that they're saying anymore. I think that they're beaten. I think people, a part of this apathy that you're feeling in the country today is that people are so burdened with the kind of pressures of what is going on in everyday life that they don't have time to get involved in the conversation. No. That's what is happening. And then there's a lot of trash across the talk radio dials. Simple. I mean, you know, people are trying to look for ratings and they're doing things to get popular and stuff. We got a crisis on our hand, and we as gatekeepers are to the forefront of it. And I mean gatekeepers of information for the people's information for the people of this country. Right. We are not doing what we're supposed to be doing. We're supposed to be making so much noise to get these people rallied up and to make sure that they can put the pressure on those who are in charge of the governance of this country, that we will be well worth doing our jobs if we do that.
Absolutely. Steve, I'll leave you with this.
It's just a terrible situation.
We continue to do what we do. We'll always have what we have.
Yeah, no question.
Do different. We will have different. You have a good night, Steve. Take care.
All the best. Right. 325-023-546. I'm asking you the question, you know, friends. You think I like talking about how bad things are? It's my duty. I have to talk about it because I think we've been all lulled to sleep. I think now that we're in this political season, people are waiting on their ship to come in. Who coming to bring me $300,000? That's what it seems like. Who can pay for my fridge and stove? You know, we cannot be that people. We are at a moment of crisis. It's been foretold, you know. This election will be the most incredible election in the history of the Bahamas, the history of our very existence, this election. And that's because there's so much riding on the line. There are people out there who want to keep the status quo. So much so that they will do anything necessary, by any means necessary, to make it that way. And we, the Bahamian people who are in the masses, we, our kind, are not sharing in any of this because we are laying into all the propaganda that's being spewed from this lips of this particular political party to that one. We have to think. That's the word for the day, think. We want to think about what is going on. We want to internalize and rationalize that this can't be right, this can't be wrong. We've got to think our way through this one. This is not an election for those people who can't think. This is the election for those thinkers in our country, in our midst. And everybody can be a thinker if he sits down and just try to logically figure out what is it that we are doing here. I mean, no amount of me preaching to you are going to make you think, because there's some of you are so indifferent. This morning, the Nassau Guardian wrote an editorial. The editorial of the Nassau Guardian today talks about the fact that people have got to read more. They've got to get involved. They've got to become engaged. It's so true. We've been saying that for years right here. You've got to get engaged. You just cannot wait for someone to babysit you and give you an issue that you figure this is the side that you're on. Stop picking sides. Pick the truth and look at it and weigh it. And when you weigh it, you say, you know something? This fella, I like him, but he talking foolishness. That fella, I like him too, but he talking foolishness. Because you can think for yourself. And then this nonsense about we're not going to register. It's the most foolish thing in the history of the world. For you to decide that you are not going to actively participate in something that you have a right to, an inalienable right to do, to make a difference. You let some jive time, cheap politician come tell you foolishness about, they're getting the requisite numbers that they want now. Well, if you can't get all 280-something,000 of those who can vote, you're joking, because that is what counts. And only you can change that, You can't let no man bluff you and tell you that not today, you ain't registered today because you ain't got your passport. You can't let that happen. You got to fight the forces and demand that you register. Nobody can tell you can't register in this your country. You crazy? And all you people out there who are sitting back, relaxing yourself because Fred Mitchell, the Honorable Minister of Immigration and Foreign Affairs, are telling you you're going to get your passport. 10 months to get a passport is just ridiculous. Simple. And you talk about things good. Things good where? You think things good for all them people who've been waiting on them passport from last year and year before? We got to be crazy to accept the garbage that we're accepting. It's unacceptable. Yet you say things good. You let Michael Akitas tell you a pack of foolishness. So much so that the way through that now, to wade through the nonsense what he has talked and spoken into real life, you need 2 canoes, one for your head and one for your body. You need 50,000 raincoats. It's foolishness. Yet you've accepted it. No challenge. No real challenge to it. The moral gatekeepers, those who are in the church. I saw them last night at the Anglican Synod. I thought it was very, very good. I thought that Leish Boyd, the bishop, had done a good job in recognizing people and encouraging people. This is fantastic. This is what the country should be going forward to. He was frank and factual on all issues. But I don't know if them fellas, them who sit there understand what he's saying, He's telling us that we are in trouble. We are in a mess, so we need to fix it. Thing shabby. What are we going to do, friends? This is your call, See, we have to build a country together now. You can't just say, well, let Steve go front and say these things, and we'll feel better once he says it, and preach it and put it on them today, and we'll feel good. This is not about feeling good. This is about doing good. This is about getting things to be better in our country. And this is about trying to save our international reputation, what's left of it, because these fellas that who inside, they don't seem to have a clue that Standards & Poor's and Moody's and all these other agencies together look at us as a pack of dummies who don't know what we are doing and can't run no country. And long before we end up as a failed state in their books, as a failed state of people who just squandered everything. The woman from Royal Bank, she was on the radio and on the not on the radio, on the forum the other day down at the Business Outlook thing, or Fidelity, I think it was. And she put it on us. This is a woman who she don't live here. It's the regional director for Royal Bank. They got their own problems, I know, yes. And we have some problems with them. Yes, that's true. But she told the government, man, you're playing. Y'all can't even get this deficit in order. You are running this thing into the ground. All this money you all collect from value-added tax, and you can't give an account for it. $1 billion plus, it was over $1 billion, you know. Do you have any idea what $1 billion is? Can you count to $1 billion? Really? Do you have an idea in your mind to hold that amount of money in your head? The enormity of it. $1 billion. And boy, we blow that like that was no big deal as far as what Al-Qaeda said. See, I don't believe what Al-Qaeda said. I can't accept that because it can't be so. But he tried to sell that to us. And the woman has said, I think her name is Maria Buchanan or something like that. Buchanan, I think it is. And she says, look, man, in Bahamian words, this is what she would have said. You all fit a good cut behind. You're weightless. That's what she was saying. But of course, she said in her own elegant and, eloquent style that we are joking. And she dead right. And you want to say things good? You see, I give you things from a factual point of view. How come only I see this and I'm the least of the lot? You all smarter than me. You all are the economists. You all in the Chamber of Commerce. You all are the smart people. You all in the business consortium. You know what's going on. You all who have been running the environmental situation in this country, making noise with every damn thing other than what is good for the Bahamian, you all quiet. You all too busy looking at and catering to the two fellas who are warring through the gates of life at Key. What the hell is this? Can I talk to you today and tell you how I really feel about our country? Because we have got to be out to lunch. This is a real country. It's a real live country. Yet you're going to hear it from somebody else, even though your government who you so trust tell you Bahamas has been sold. They told us that. They had a big press conference. They stopped the press. ZNS them got the tape right there where they stopped the press and had a press conference in the middle of the newscast. Say, this the deal. We sold Bahama. Things are good. That's what they told us. Fried eggs. The man himself, Mr. Graham Davis, the man who was the president of Chow Tai Fook Enterprises. He say, we talking with the government. Things are looking on the up and up, I might say. It's looking rather marvelous, I might say. But really, it's not sold as yet. We've not closed yet. And only Branville McCartney was able to pick that up and make plenty of noise on it, and it got not even the damn headline in the Tribune. You telling me that we doing good? Well, you're going to get what you deserve. Hard copy, how are you?
Good evening, Mr. McKinney.
Hey, friend, how are you?
Oh, I'm good, man. I'm great, and who this is? The reconciler. But I didn't say that for you. I just said that as part of my introduction to the national airways.
I understand.
Yeah. But Mr. McKinney, why I like to listen to your show, this is instruction, is truth. Your fingers on the national pulse of what is really going on. Why I've lost interest in most of the other talk shows, I think I'm in the best talk shows, because of the sensationalism, the shallowness, the bias, and the stupid pettiness. That's why I've lost interest in most of them. One or two might listen to. But your show is the top of the list when to get the truth, the instruction, and the true reading of the pulse of what's really going on in our nation today. And I can say, Mr. McKinney, as you said, that lady from Royal Bank, I think she was here before a couple of years ago.
I believe so. I think she
was.
I
think that's the same lady, and I mentioned it on the show at that time. I forget exactly what it was all about. but she made some very, very good comments. I don't know if it was.
She don't take no mess. She's a realist.
Yeah.
She lives in the real world.
Exactly, and she, she told it just like it is. Now, $1+ billion of what money, and that man, the state minister, talking lies and garbage. That's where the what money going. Who the hell he think he talking to? Couldn't be me. Not Robert Augustine Johnson, a.k.a. Reconciler. He ain't talking to me. Because I know that's a damn lie.
Yeah, it is.
Okay? And for the Prime Minister, who's the substantive Minister of Finance, to come and talk about, we can have it. That man, listen, if the Bahamian people, listen, and I want to upbraid our Bahamian people a bit, including myself, because sometimes we all get too lax and lackadaisical. We need to hold these people accountable for what they say and what they're doing with our country, man. When the country has failed and become a failed state and all the money gone and they go in there, exiled, in their billions of dollars in their Swiss bank account, our children, our grandchildren are the only one here to suffer. We don't want that to happen. Okay, so
absolutely not.
We gotta all see the people get the kind of government they deserve
every time. And
this is, see, when you allow, we as Bahamian allow them to get with this kind of garbage, that's what we deserve, except we stop them in their tracks and let them know not so. We ain't getting along with this, and we voted you off.
Well, this is enough. The things that have happened in this country in the last 72 hours, and only that.
Okay, you're normal. Okay, right now.
We need to really come to terms with it. I mean, we've been lied to.
Yeah.
We've been ridiculed. We've been downgraded to junk-born status. We've had 4 downgrades in 18 months in this particular term under the prime ministership of Perry Gladstone.
That's enough for him. That alone.
We have to get excited about that.
Perry Christie, Right Honorable, and the PLP. They come up with that line. I hear that man, Michael Dowell, and I don't have no kind of respect for him as a man nor a politician. Come with that damn lie, talking about Grand Bahama. People sleeping in their car and, running to Nassau and suffering for years. He talking about how good it is. That man needs to be shot, not shot with no gun.
You mean the electric
pigeon stuff, pigeon poop. And see, we don't need that kind of thing, man.
Well, my friend,
that's too much blatant lie. Yeah. He's disrespecting the sense, the good sense of the Bahamian people with that kind of foolishness he coming with. But how good it is. Freeport is suffering for decades. I ain't talking garbage. Damn foolishness about how good things is. Yeah. See if I can know. Have a good day.
I appreciate you. Before you come through this phone and start slapping all of us, we don't want that. But you get the point. Things are not good, my friends. I have to tell you today that I'm going to give you the reality shot. We are not doing well at all. The country cannot be doing well if the state of affairs is what it is today. Come now. We have been listening to so much rhetoric, so much jive talk, so much, handle. We got slick talk for everything. We as the Bahamian people, slick talk, and the politicians are waxing eloquently because, they got all these nice terms. Well, that's a teachable moment. Well, it is what it is. I mean, please, when are we going to get down to doing business and really showcasing our worth, our character first and foremost, our honesty, and getting things done on behalf of people whom we serve? When? You see, the people are at fault here because the people have not demanded. Not really. Let me tell you something. If you were to take this group of politicians right now and replace them or transfer them to Jamaica, I want you to hear me. Take this particular group of politicians, transfer them to Jamaica, and let them operate the way that they operate here in the Bahamas in Jamaica, I will tell you, they won't be in a pretty position for many reasons. It has to do with attitude. There are people who are not prepared to go down that road with this group of politicians. But we got it so sweet in the Bahamas. They are on easy street. They've never really been challenged. The people went and marched in droves, a cross-section of people from every walk of life. White people, black people, Chinese Bahamian people, Jamaican Bahamian people, Bahamian Haitian people, Haitian Bahamian people, everybody marching. That means something. This is the first sign of the kind of movement, excuse me, that people are saying something. Civil disobedience, they're saying something. We are in the Bahamas so lackadaisical, so out of it that we miss it. We don't know what it means. You know what we did with it? We politicize it. And who do we let? We let politicians politicize it so that we can miss the picture and miss the boat. That's what's been happening to us. Lulled to sleep because we believe in the mighty politician. And I'm saying we got to check our belief system. As far as I know, God is still in control. And as far as I know, we believe in God. And as far as I know, we believe in the supremacy of God. These crazy bald heads who are talking fool, they're not supposed to be doing the things that they're doing and getting away with it, you know. They're not. But they're getting away with it because the people themselves have missed the boat. They've taken their eyes off the one who provides everything for us, and they've put their eyes and their faith in the hand of man, and man's hand will fail you. You bring your chariots and all that, they are no good when it comes to what is supposed to happen. This message that I've been preaching is an old message. This is not anything new. It's been that way from biblical times of old. Yet we can't get it right. And we are a God people. We are people who believe in the supremacy of God. We are a blessed people. We are a royal priesthood. We are all of those things that Ari Cooper said that we were. We still that, but we forgot who we are. And so we believe in these jokers who KB wrote about, and they got offended by that. These jokey politicians, they are nothing compared to who we are. And I mean that. And you've got those of you who are so fanatical. Oh, but it ain't this, it ain't nothing. Eh? Listen, let me tell you something. You are the worst kind because you put your hand in the hand of men who are failing this country. This ain't just for you, my friend, so don't talk that nonsense to me. I'm telling you, listen to me. You talk that around your kind because this country is for our children, and they deserve better than this. That's what I come to tell you today. So when you are with all this propaganda that's being spewed out there, all these jokey people on the airwaves of the Bahamas, we don't even know if they're Bahamian or Haitian. They're all on the airwaves talking fool. This our country. And I'm telling you that because you are listening to a lot of the foolishness, and here it is, the country is going to hell. Don't you care about this country? You ought to know them by their fruit, you know. You hear a man out there talking foolishness, and you want to be part of that, you just as fool. You've got to look at what is good for the country. That's why when I heard, and I'm getting to the calls right now, when I heard the former prime minister, I say, no matter how many differences he and I may have had over the course of politics and my career and his career and all that, I have to respect Hubert Alexander Ingram as a man who understands what country is. Half of us missed it. That's why he can get on the horn and say, look, we've got to do these things because it's important. He's a veteran. You have to respect the persons who understand what is happening because it is them who know. You don't go questioning everything because you feel like it. You want to jump up and, who are you? This man has been prime minister for 3 non-consecutive terms. I don't care who don't like it. That's the fact of the matter. And that has to count for something. So when he says we ought to look at this and ought to, he's only suggesting. You can't get upset about that and decide, don't mind him and listen to the propaganda, and you miss the boat again. That's what I'm talking about. Are we doing good? We're doing dead bad. Things are bad. Don't let nobody tell you different. Things are B-A-D in this town. In so many areas. I can call the areas. Look at government agencies. Bad. Look at the counters at paying these bills of these. Bad. Look at the kind of billing that you're getting. You question it. Bad. Look at your service from BPL, the electric. Bad. Look at the people in Grand Bahama who got to pay for all them lamp poles. Bad. What are you talking about? Things are good. Anyway, Hard Copy, how are you?
Hello, Steve.
Peace and love. How you doing, Pat?
Wonderful, man. Wonderful. Boy, who picks you off, man?
Them. All of them. That's a big category. Them.
Yeah, I got you. Listen, you asked some very interesting questions, and I got a couple of answers for you. First of all, you say somebody lied to us, right?
Yep.
Well, there's a gentleman in history called Adolf Hitler.
I remember him. Just talked about him yesterday when I had the people on from the death camp who Anne Franks and all them. Anne Frank.
I missed that. Wow.
Yeah. We had a little piece on with Anne Frank. There's a big meeting tomorrow evening, Thursday, at the Melia. You should go down and hear this presentation. Anne Frank, the actual friend of Anne Frank, her name is Eva Shurall, I think it is. She is going to be here in town. She's about 80 plus years old. And she is going to relive some of the moments of the diary of Anne Frank. And it's a lesson to be learned by so many people because we are still indifferent. We are still doing foolishness, and we haven't learned from history.
Right. Well. Let me tell you what Senor Adolf Hitler said about politicians and politics. One of his famous quotes is, "The politicians is to tell a lie, but not just any lie. Tell a big,
the biggest one you can find,
and then keep repeating it."
That's right.
And he said, people will begin to believe it.
No question. This is the strategy that's being used these days, I'm afraid.
Yeah. The other thing is, you're talking about how bad things are, and I'm listening to your show, and I get a knock at my door. My neighbors came over, and he said, very, very shy and very ashamed. He said, "Mr. Petty, do you have any noodles?"
There you go.
Noodles?
It's real. It's real. It's real. It's absolutely real.
I said, "Yeah, man. You what happened?" He said, "Can you give me one, please?"
That's right.
You know how embarrassing it is to go through that?
Yes, and noodles. I mean, this thing costs like a couple of cents, right? But the point is, you have to look at what is happening here. The man,
and he ain't got none, and he can't buy none.
That's right, and he ought to be commended. He came and he looked to someone who may have it to help him.
Oh yeah, so I gave him several packs, right?
There you go.
Now you asked another question.
God bless you.
You said to Bahamians, "Do you know how much money $1 billion is?" Most people do not know how much money $1 billion is.
Yeah, I know. I then got a bunch of text people trying to tell me what it is so they can educate me. But I fool like that. I don't know what $1 billion is, and I don't want to know because I can't fathom that kind of money in my head for me to go freak out.
No.
And here it is. These fellas, them had this in their hand, or they collected it, and they're telling us some trash that they put it into the consolidated fund, and they can't differentiate as to what is what. Please.
But listen to this, Steve. Most people think that $1 billion is $100 million. That's not true. $1 billion is 1,000 million dollars.
There you go.
Not 100 million. $1,000 million. They can't count for $1,000 million.
Let me see what these fellas been texting me. See there, that's right. You're right about that. That's what they think.
$1,000 million, just a bit. $1,000 million.
1,000 times 1 million is 1 billion.
Oh my God! But I wanted to call you before, but I didn't get to. I'm getting up for right now.
Yeah.
The young lady you had on last week from Organization for Good Governance.
Yeah.
And that lady impressed
Nicole. What was her last name? She has a Polish name, a Polish last name.
But she impressed the hell out of me. That's the kind of people we need running our country.
No question about it.
You know,
you're going to have more from her because she's not shy and she's willing to share information. So we're going to be talking.
Now, one thing she said that really caught my attention is that there are 20 organizations amalgamated now that composed of 100,000 Bahamians. Remember?
Yes.
So we need to find out how we could tap into those 100,000.
Well, we already in. We are in through all of those NGOs and all those civil society groups that were part of those We March and stuff. You need to understand that's what was happening. That 100,000 individuals or whatever it was that she talked about.
Yeah.
You're looking at 23 to 21 to 27 different organizations.
Yeah.
That have been shooting off into these different areas of all these small little groups and that's who we are, and that's why that makes up the bulk of why the government of the Bahamas should pay close attention to this idea and the ideals of making sure we have that what you call it, the Information Act. This is no joking thing. Now, what she also said was that we only got 7 out of 33 different things that we were looking for. We only got 7 of them implemented this time. But the point is, it's the beginning.
That's the point.
Yeah.
But the question is, here's my question. Listen to her talk.
Mm-hmm.
What could possibly be the objection to her 30 points?
Well, see, that's just it.
You see, if you have nothing to hide, if you're only up and up and everything is above board, there's nothing to hide, why would you object to these 30 points in the Freedom of Information Act?
Well, then you ask the right question.
Yeah, you see, if you're
but don't ask them expecting the correct answer, because they don't have any correct answers. Their answers will be full of propaganda and some foolishness.
And that's what we're afraid of. Now, finally, I know you have to go. People that swallowed "We Believe in Bahamians" and Bahamians First in 2012, right?
Mm-hmm.
They couldn't hear that in the last convention. The only person that said that was a guy from the FNM.
No, nobody's. Hey, listen, you smart, You're very perceptive. You see, the whole thing is this. You are absolutely right. In 3 days of convention this past January, there was no such utterance of "We believe in Bahamians." No one would dare say that.
Oh no, it goes
even though it's quite appropriate to say it now because of the fact that you ought to be showcasing that you believe in Bahamians to get them back on board, but not a man would say that.
No, but it goes further than the convention.
Mm-hmm.
We haven't heard our Prime Minister say "We believe in Bahamians and Bahamians First" since May of 2012.
Well, you didn't expect him to say that.
But he couldn't shut up before the election.
Well, that should tell you this is what you're dealing with. I got to run, Pat. I've got many calls on this line.
Okay, man.
But I appreciate your conversation, and I know that you mean well, and you want to see how best we can get this country turned around. But I declare today, let me say it like how the others would say it. I decree and declare. And I'm not mocking anybody, okay? But I decree and declare today that there's no one who can tell me that we doing good with any amount of credibility of how good we are doing. So you're stuck with me on this particular one because I'm telling you, and I know that we can do better, but we are doing bad. And there are remedies and recipes as to how we can do better. But first, you've got to come to the throne of grace and forgive and ask for your forgiveness, because you have to start from a premise of honesty. You can't mix truth with foolishness and get a good result. You've got to first come clean and decide that you want truth and you want honesty so that we can go on the right road and get it right. And that's what I'm calling the nation to, because I look around and a lot of our institutions have been found wanting. We're not speaking about the things that the people need to hear. We forget how to do that. The last time we had anybody who spoke any amount of sense to this nation was the late Dr. Miles Monroe, from a spiritual, biblical foundation. And that is the standard. And unless you want to talk like that, please take your time. Unless you got something like that to say, because that's what we need right now. We need a moment of truth. Hard copy, how are you? Hard copy, good afternoon. How you doing? Okay. Hard copy, how are you? Are you there? Okay. Hard copy, how are you? Are you there? Thank you very much for holding and wanting to talk, but you had to hang up. I understand. 325-0235 or 6. All I'm saying is that I just want someone to tell me that it is not as bad as I make it, that it is really happening, and that we are doing well, and that we are doing much better, and that we are doing good, because that's the word, that we are doing good, good, good. And I tell you, we're not doing good. There's a lot of trouble in this country. A lot of trouble. We're not doing good in the area of crime. We're not doing good in the area of communication. We're not doing good. We're not doing good in the area of finances. Not at all. We need to have the minister responsible for financial services to get on the horn and to tell this nation where we really are with the threats that are coming for us to be blacklisted. You hear me talk about this every day. And while we may have it together, we need to hear without a shadow of a doubt that we on top of that. We don't need to wake up tomorrow morning and hear, yes, we've been listed by the OECD territories again, talking foolishness about us. And we don't have no plan. I need to hear from the substantial Minister of Financial Services. Maybe Alcides can help her out. Maybe she can help out Alcides. Maybe Kayla's role. These are the players. Maybe he can help her out and make sure that we have a statement to the Bahamian people, especially to the business groupings in this country, that we are okay. Especially to those in the financial services sector. We've been losing jobs left, right, and center in that sector, and no one has lifted a finger to stop the onslaught. Jobs have been going elsewhere, to Barbados and Trinidad and every place else except the Bahamas. And all we have been able to say is respond to that by saying, look, maybe Bahamians who want to work with them need to go where the job's gone. This is ridiculous. This is ludicrous. This is foolish. This is not good sense. But that's the answer that they have, those in government. We have to find a way to make sure that our people who are in offshore banking in the Bahamas, who understand it, can develop their own kind of grouping and manage it. What you think this is? We are about services. We know how to do wealth management. We can put together a conglomerate of all these different individuals who have been in the offshore banking business all their life and know what to do. They have the expertise. That's worth something. But the whole doggone thing may be threatened now because of how these fellas them saying that they sticking their money in that tax haven across in the Bahamas, and it's a secret to the rest of us. We thought that we were beyond those days. But Hope Straw and them can tell you the truth about it. If they tell us the truth, we'll be more prepared about a lot of things, wouldn't we? Maybe they're waiting for something crazy to happen again. And don't forget now, they're going to tell you, Steve don't know what he's talking about. They will tell you, just like how he don't know what he's talking about with the Chinese and all them letters and stuff and all these demands that the Chinese made. Well, you ain't got to believe me. The proof is in the pudding. Just watch the news, and it's happening every day, right in your face. All that you were told about is now unfolding. So, it's up to you. Hard copy, how are you?
Hey, Steve Super McKinney, how you doing today, sir?
Is this Levan Bannister?
Yes, sir. What's going on, man?
Hi, good. How are you?
Man, thank God for Jesus. Everything cool.
Wonderful.
Just want to elaborate on certain things, and I can be quick with it. Steve, yes, the government do fall down in certain areas, and you get a lot of lame duck members of parliament in the Progressive Liberal Party. But I'm not going to throw the baby away with the bath water. Some of them all right on the deal with their constituents. Let me be real with you. With my member of parliament, Mr. Dion Smith, right? I say the bad mow him, but he ain't ready. He's one of those members of parliament and call your name on the rally stage. You call him 8, 9 times, he never call you back. But let me put it like this. I have some F&M and DNA friends, right? What get jobs right from the same Progressive Liberal Party. And this is the first time some of them ever get a job or elect in their life. Now, persons can suck their teeth out there. They have their right to complain and whatever. But I just speak it too because I beat them and veil their backside almost every day. But let me be honest with you. I see some fellas who I know is permanent, or real F&Ms, and who support the DNA. And right now, some of these fellas working with some of the PLPs. That don't mean they have to win. But some of these fellas, like what we call on the street, eating. And some people out there starving and hungry and suffering because some of the members of parliament do not like to come around and address and talk with the people. Now we say don't blame it on the MP. Why you always want to ask the MP for things? This the silly season. All of them coming around now in the red shirt, the green shirt, the yellow shirt, the NCP, or whatever they name. Other persons coming around. These people there, to me, only know the people, Steve, when they need them. Steve, it's election time. Some must see these members of parliament from 2012. General Major's a good man, even if he listening to me. My girl and her sister and everybody living in this area. These people here see General Major for me win. He could be in trouble. Ken Dorset, who I just text, he could be in trouble with Frankie Campbell. Because I think Frankie Campbell could beat him. Now, if y'all fellas out there in the PLP listen to the balancer, it's me. Because plenty of y'all ain't going to win y'all seat. I still believe the PLP could win, Steve. I don't know, I ain't Jesus, I just assume it. But I still have this thing. Every 5 years, the possibility the government could get rolled out. I done win 3 straight. I don't know if I can for a fourth, like saying, well, this the 4th time the people have choose not to put in the PLP and put in the F&F. DST is happening. Now, the PLP, they have a weightless style in dealing with public relations. Their public relation is very terrible. Because when you look at the urban renewal, Mr. McKinney, let me be real with you. Because I even look at some people around here to get their home fixed. I know some people around here never had a toilet. They got a toilet today with a top. And that's good, the urban renewal, spend the money. Because that's our money. We the taxpayers. That's what I tell Greg Butler them today in their face. That ain't all money. That's the people money. So when the PLP do good, I pray them. When they do bad, I still beat them up. But listen, at the end of the day, that's our money, Steve. And I ain't talking no two-tongue. Many of these fellas in the PLP ain't going to see the House of Parliament in the next couple of months. Trust me, Steve, a lot of them could be crying 6:30, 7 o'clock a day. And honest to say that, and many of who's my friends out there, like Michael Akitas, my good friend, and Careless Roland, you're going to get beat because you're too lackadaisical and weightless. Have a good day.
I appreciate your call. And that's an expression of Bannister, who represents a whole lot of people. He even has his own talk show these days, they tell me. So, you know, the bottom line is no matter how much you slice it, dice it, cut it, chop it, peel it, juke it, roll it, bounce it, comes out the same way. Things ain't good. A lot of people are hurting thanks to people who tell us they mean as well. Thanks to people who tell us that we want to do good for you. Thanks to people who tell us that we are your servant leader. Oh boy, what will they come with next? I'm interested in finding out what will be the sweetest sweet song to be sung from the lips of politicians this time around, because they then use everything conceivable to convince the Bahamian people that I for you. I don't know what they could use this time around. You have any ideas? What do you think will be their theme? Any of these politicians, because you see, we are at a place now where we're apathetic. We don't even know who to believe. We're like, child, please, whatever you say, whatever you say. So it made people come to the point of, don't come singing it, come bringing it. Bring me a tangible, bring me that telephone you tell me, bring it. When I see it, I got something from you, you old fool. That's how people are looking at this now. That's pathetic, because we are supposed to be an educated nation of people who have sense. And it seems like we who want to come off as having sense are begging a lot of those people who don't seem to have no sense at all to save us. My Lord, what a situation. We are at the mercy of those who have refused to equate themselves of knowledge and understanding and wisdom and even information, basic everyday information. We now find ourselves at their mercy saying, y'all save us because it's more y'all than more us. And what you all do can either make us or break us. My Lord, what a country. Hard copy, how are you? Hi there, how you doing? Okay. Hard copy, how are you?
Are you all right? How you do?
Very good, sir.
Good. Mr. McKinney?
Yes, sir.
Look here, man. I've been sitting down figuring out this thing with Bahama and this VAT money.
You figured out yet?
Okay, yeah, I got it figured out. The hotel is not sold, right?
Yes.
As far as they say.
Uh-huh.
Now, where the money coming from to pay these people but working the Bahama?
Yeah.
That's money.
You got that figure out?
Yeah, that's VAT money.
That's VAT money.
Yeah. The government taking the VAT money to complete the hotel to put people to work for the election.
Wow.
Because the hotel is not sold, I mean, as far as they're concerned, so that means the Chinese people is not paying nobody.
My, you figured that out.
Yeah, that's VAT money what I'm completing that hotel.
My God.
Thank you, buddy.
Thank you.
All right.
You stunned me just now. That's VAT money that fixed up the hotel. So that's where the VAT money gone? My Lord. I mean, this is some voodoo mathematics. But you had a fella just now. He said that's what they're doing. Well, we could always investigate. There's nothing wrong. But someone told me something yesterday. Denisio de Aguilar was a part of the show yesterday, and he said to me on the show, he says, well, you know, one of the things that's quite interesting is it doesn't take rocket science to figure out what's going on here. He says all you've got to do is go and compare the 32,000 jobs with the people who are supposed to be now paying national insurance at NIB. And if you see that you got 28,000 people paying a new 28,000, a pool of 28,000 new people paying national insurance, well, you ain't got no argument, because that would equate to the 32,000 jobs that, since you had one little 3 extra thousand jobs in the system already, if you're looking at the 32,000 jobs, all you got to do is check NIB and see if you got people now paying national insurance at the amount of, not in the amount, but at the level of 28,000 new people paying NIB. Anybody wants to take that assignment? Let me give this assignment to somebody. I'm going to give this assignment to somebody. This assignment I'm going to give to Patrick Petty. That's your assignment. All right? You ain't no politician, so I trust you. Go and find out. Hard copy, how are you? Hi there, are you there? Okay. Please stay on the line. Hard copy, how are you?
Hello, Mr. McKinney. How you doing?
Very good, thanks.
All right, Mr. McKinney. You saying you don't want to know where teams good and how teams are doing good in the nation, right? I tell you where you can hear how good things go, and all you got to do is listen to 103.5 or ZNF anytime, my brother.
You joking, right?
They just make...
No. You joking, right?
Yes, sir. I listen to them, and I wonder what Bahamas you living in, because I know things are for me. You things are man to these people. It's honey and milk flowing through city streets. Man.
Yeah, I know.
I mean, everything is a deflection. No, it's not that way. Oh, they're lying. Yeah. This alternative facts. That word is everywhere now.
Yeah, well, you know, they it's like the word millennials, you know. These millennials, they know everything about everything. All of a sudden, you know, those of us who were here before the new people came, we don't know squat. But
that's why you have a lot of people.
This is what it's all about.
It's in politics and not registering to vote, because these fanatics come out and they say these things, but that's a lie. Money is being spent here. Things are being good here.
They're spin doctors, and they're not even good at it. That's the trouble.
Jobs going. This amount of jobs going.
Yeah, they're spin doctors, but they're not even that good at it.
But it's just good to be able to hear you, sir, and it's refreshing to have sober thoughts to hear from you, sir. You have a good evening.
I appreciate your call. I'm the oddball because, you know, I don't know nothing what I talk about. But every time the others turn around to check it, they know that I have all the facts, and they know that I can prove every doggone thing I say, everything. And they know that I'm a man dealing black and white. I don't talk off the top of my head. I don't know how to do that. When you hear me talking, I got the paper right here. See this file? I got all kind of stuff inside here. What is this here? Oh, you ain't supposed to see this. I better don't let you see that. I got all kinds of things on this particular file for today because I may have to stumble on something in here. So I got it right here. You don't mind them. They will talk foolishness as much as they want. And I would say to you that you ought to graduate from such elementary foolishness. Okay, when people, this is serious time now. These are sober and serious time. You know, all of us can tolerate a little bit of crazy talk every now and then because it's entertainment. But when you're talking about the nation's business, you better know what you're talking about. And you better be good at what you're talking about. And you better be able to bring your facts and put them on the table. That's how I do my show. I'm not trying to make anyone look bad. I'd be the first to tell you, I'm a realist. I told you a couple of weeks ago that the PLP is the best thing in the country at that time because of their stability. People didn't like it. Or you need to hear the names they were calling me. But you see, you've got to be realistic. Things change. Things can get better or can get worse, progressively worse sometimes. But that don't mean that you mustn't be truthful about things. It ain't do me no harm to tell you the truth about it. They're still very stable as compared to some other parties. But the Free National Movement has made a big inroad, though they don't know how to amplify it. They don't know how to articulate it. That's the unfortunate thing about that lot, the FNM. They don't know how to do it. They don't know how to say what they're saying. But we, the people, must make a choice. The truth is, we must make a choice between either them or an alternative party or the governing party or the Free National Movement. That's just the way it is. We have to make that choice, we the people. And all I ask you to do is make a smart choice because all of us got to live here when you make your choice. It ain't no, well, I do that, but I thought, see, well, when my boy tell me, see, I thought, well, see, what I did, I taught, and you taught too much, you're going to burst if you don't stop talking. You got to be realistic. Do things that make sense for the nation. Hard copy, how are you?
Hello, Steve.
Peace and love. How are you, sir?
Good evening.
Good. How are you?
Well, I'm trying to make my way through life.
I can imagine.
All of the nonsense.
How can I help you today?
Carrying on, and I just want to say some things about North Andros.
Oh, please.
Where I'm from. You remember in 2013,
yes,
the Prime Minister said Andros' time had come, and they were going to spend $100 million between Central and North Andros. So if you get an opportunity, sir, I would like for you to go into San Andros and take a ride into the settlement of Mastic Point. I was there recently. And when I was there the last time, the potholes were about 2 feet apart.
Oh, my God.
In the roads, and all the roads. And last week, they were a foot apart.
My Lord.
Okay? I mean, you're dropping from one pothole into the next pothole, into the next pothole, into the next pothole. And nothing has been done about that for years. And they can't tell you how much money has been spent on BAMSI.
My Lord.
If you recall, Prime Minister, he didn't seem to know, although he said he wrote the checks. Minister of Works didn't seem to know. And V. Alfred Gray didn't seem to know, Minister of Agriculture. They all gave different figures. You know, one was saying 50 million had been spent. The next one was saying 30 million had been spent. Prime Minister, he wrote the check, so only 20 million had been spent up to that point. This project, which was supposed to have been completed 2 years ago, is yet to be completed. They have signed a memorandum understanding with Ocean University of China. That has yet to find its way to the table.
My Lord.
So we don't know what they have agreed in that memorandum of understanding. They also have a memorandum of understanding with the college, now the University of the Bahamas. I believe that the BAMSI has now come under the umbrella of the College of the Bahamas.
Yeah, University.
For a long, sorry, the University of the Bahamas. But for a long time, you were not told how they were relating to Bamsey. And like, all the talk you hear, all of the talk about Bamsey this and Bamsey that, people need to go and see for themselves what's happening down there. But the roads are terrible. And I happen to have run into the MP for the area with one of his generals. And I said to him, you know, these roads are terrible. And all your 5 years you've spent, you've done absolutely nothing about the roads. And I said to the general, you live here.
My Lord.
Why aren't you making a lot of noise? The influence that you have with the... But get the road fixed. I say, because I'm going to call the talk show, and I'm going to talk about it.
Yeah.
He said, well, if you call the talk show, maybe they'll do something about it. But it's terrible.
Yeah.
You know, all the settlement roads except Low Sound.
Yeah. Well, I plan to take look-see, and not only that, I plan to talk with some people in that community down there so that we can. You have to lobby. I mean, you know, make no mistake about it. We are doing American-style politics these days, where there's no lobby, the people will perish.
Yeah. Well,
you hear what I said just now? Where there's no lobby,
the people
will perish.
And they're perishing down there. I can tell you that. I mean, it's a shame and a disgrace that Andros, the first family island, out island, then it is called, to vote for the Progressive Liberal
Clarence
Party,
Bain.
is being treated worse,
My Andrews, oh my Andrews.
worse than a stepchild.
Well, these guys don't care, that's for sure. We know that.
Yeah.
We can be absolutely clear about that. We can be spot on that. They don't really care because, see, they have no bonding to that island. It's just like a bush. They don't even like going down. It's just like big bush.
Yeah.
And whatever happens to the people, well, if something fly in their eye and fly in their mouth, they could taste it. It tastes
Do
good.
some investigation and find out what happened.
We will do our part. I assure you. And you can help to put me on page by having me, just text me 376-9234, 376-9234. Put me on page. Let me talk with some people. I appreciate it.
And also find out what became of the forensic audit that was done on National Insurance in 2009.
Oh, we on top of that. Don't worry.
$861,900
Don't worry. We
has yet to reach the table of Parliament.
Well, I know. And I know why. And I'm talking with some people. Relax yourself. I'm on top of that one now. Let me tell you. Okay? I appreciate it.
I'll be waiting.
Thank you, sir.
All right.
All the best. My goodness. What a country. This is what we do. This is how we do it. I have to take a break in a minute. Let me just see here. Let me take this call, then I'll take a break. Hard copy, how are you?
Good evening, Mr. McKinney. How are you doing?
Yes, sir. I'm fine. Thank you very much.
Okay, good. Well, you said something earlier in your show, and your caller that just hung up, I just want to piggyback on something. You made a statement saying if these politicians were in another country, say Haiti or Jamaica, their situation would have been a whole lot different.
Yep.
And I was just listening to the gentleman and speaking about the conditions in Andros
Yes, sir.
roads and stuff. And Mr. McKinney, I feel that our allegiance to these parties are much more greater than our allegiance to the country
That's right.
in general.
Now you get my picture.
You see,
We are amplifying the politicians so much that the country is going to hell and we don't seem to care.
yeah, and I feel because I told you're having a conversation, friends of mine, and I told them this is not like you're pulling for your team, the Dolphins or the Lakers or whatever
There
it
you
is.
go. Get real.
You're a diehard. If you see something's being done wrong with your political party that you associate yourself with, you cannot just brush things under the rug and try to lie things away, because you cannot lie these situations away. You know, the blatant corruption that has been going on for the past four years, you know, it's just a slap and an insult to the people. For example, the post office that they did in Hunters in Grand Bahama.
Oh, yes.
Mr. Miller, I'm sorry, Mr.
That's all right.
Mr. McKinney.
Yeah, Donald is my good buddy.
Over $100,000 you're gonna say you're gonna tell people y'all paid over $100,000 to refurbish.
Yes.
Not to build, but to refurbish that little tiny building.
And that has been happening to us for so many years that they spent all this money and say this sort of refurbishment. I mean, come on.
Yeah, I like also the urban renewal. They have these houses that they said that they already signed off for and paid people, and you go and you look at these structures and nothing's done. You know, the decorations, the Christmas decorations that was done in Arawaki, you know, all the wastage of monies and that to justify these things. It's very sad.
Yeah.
I remember listening to the radio show. I think it was Darrell Miller's show, and he does a report card grade, you know, for the administration. And a lady called in from Andrus, and it was an older lady, and she said, "Oh, I give the PLP an A. I support my Prime Minister." Now get this, Mr. McKinney. I support my Prime Minister, the Right Honorable Sir Lyndon Oscar Pinland.
You mean she didn't even know the Prime Minister changed?
When she said that, Mr. McKinney, I knew that no matter what happens, that is how people affiliate themselves with a party. They don't care about the issues. Once it's red, that's my party. Once it's gold, it's my party. And this is why we're in such a state. Why should we have to applaud the government for paving roads?
Yeah, for doing their jobs.
That is your job.
Yeah, we put you there to do your job. Do your job.
You put up a few lights. That's what I'm applauding you for. That you built a school.
Nothing extraordinary. It's just that we just full of it. We are just over loyal, if there's such a thing.
Kenny, how is it that now I'm a member of Parliament, my first year. You know, you have to do your financials or whatever, turn them in. It's reported that I'm worth $100,000, and within 5 years, now I'm a multimillionaire. Well, how is this possible? I mean, but member of Parliament after member of Parliament, when they get into the House, they have a set salary.
Yeah.
Well, how is it that these people, when they get out of Parliament, the amount of monies that they accumulate, it doesn't equal up to what their salary would be for that 5 years.
It can't equal up, but it's elementary, my boy, my dear Watson. It's elementary. All they do is take somebody else's money and put it inside their bank account.
Are we going to put individuals in jail? Because, like you said, the gentleman said, $1,000 million of the people's money. Are individuals going to be held accountable? You know, and not just parading around and flailing and saying, "Oh, we're angry." Are people going to be held accountable this time? Mr. McKinney, when you do have somebody from the opposition, whether it be the DNA or the FNM, can you please ask them to tell the people what are their intentions if they were to get into power? What are their intentions about finding out where the money is?
We've begun the process already, but not on that specific thing. And you're right. We've got to put that question on the table.
Yeah. What do you intend to do? Are these people going before the courts? You know, are these people going to be, because hungry people, like the gentleman said, a guy came over and asked for a bag of noodles. If he were to go into the food store and stole a bag of noodles, he would have gotten a long time in jail.
No
$100 million, and nobody's crying and asking for jail time.
My Lord, I appreciate what you're saying. You're spot on with it, and we will endeavor to do our best with regards to trying to ascertain from these politicians what their plans are. I appreciate it. Stay tuned. All the best. I'm telling you. So the first thing I observe here today is that we have thinking Bahamians out there. I told you, put on your thinking cap. We have thinking Bahamians out there who are concerned about this place. That's good. I feel good about that. Honestly, I do. Because I was beginning to believe that everything is now all, blending into one narrative that, whatever happens, happens. We ain't no voting and all that. Because I'm now convinced that there, at least on hard copy, there are some people who believe that we can do better. and that we are demanding better, and that the marches have helped us to amplify our voices that we can do better, and that all these different opposition groupings have caused us to believe that we can do better. Now the rest is up to us to do better. What are we going to do? It's up to you. Hard copy, how are you?
Good evening.
Yes, ma'am.
Hi. I'm calling for the first time caller from the area of Shirlea.
We welcome you.
Let me correct that. Forgotten area of Shirlea.
That's because Peter Fuchs is not the member of parliament no more.
Yeah.
That's all that is.
I heard you earlier saying that times are hard still, with people finding it hard, and it's true. You know, everybody in general seems to think Hurricane Matthew is past. Let's move on, but people are still having issues. You know,
I understand.
Since then, and what about, you know, you look around. What about the basics? The traffic lights. They don't have those little shields on them anymore because Matthew them off. You know,
Understood.
Sometimes you don't know the color of the lights change.
You're dead right about it. Very, very important. Very true.
Peak, they didn't have a traffic light for over just about 3 months on that street, you know, and it's just the rodent popularity in this area.
Don't mention that recovery parade of rats and rodents. I know.
It's just a parade
They're all
of
over
rats.
the place.
And, you know, they don't seem to be doing anything about it. The person has to spend their own, finances getting stuff to get rid of them. And another thing that bothers me is street signs.
Oh, these guys have knocked them all down.
You know,
What
street
is going
signs,
on with
they're
that?
not anywhere, and they're not on our street. And, you know, you all the time you have to say, okay, do you know where Sun Tea is on Shirley Street? And, you know, I feel sorry for the people who deliver food, like the pizza companies. How
And
do
the
they ever
tourists,
find
and
a
even the
resident?
tourists, and even the tourists.
It's like, it's
we
like
don't know where we're going.
go past the laundromat and the next big tree, turn left. You know, it's just ridiculous. And
Not the next big tree.
I even called, the Ministry of Works back in November and requested for this area. I said, don't you do the street signs anymore? Yes, I'll look into it. Well, that was the last thing. So I know you're getting late, so I just appreciate, the things you're saying, that there are some people that are just still struggling to keep up with the everyday basics.
And that's something that we have to make sure it resonates, so that those who are in charge of this country or are pretending to be in charge can get up and do something and speak truth to power and try to understand that it is not good in the country for people. It is just not good. Things are not good. Let's don't fool ourselves. And I appreciate you chiming in.
It's the basics. I mean, they go and spend the money like the previous caller just said on the decorations and wasted money on, things like that when there's other things need to be fixed and cleaned and, make it look presentable.
Well, today and together, we are going to make that commitment. I want every Bahamian, including yourself, to make the commitment of speaking up and calling the relevant authorities and don't just sit there. Don't just accept it. We've had enough.
I called them. I keep calling. I keep trying. Okay, have a good night.
I appreciate it. Thank you very much for your call. We must keep on trying until we reach the higher ground. We've got to keep on trying till you reach the higher ground. Stevie Wonder, right? We won't. It's not attainable if you have weak need people. It's not attainable if you're following the fellow who calls himself the politician. It's not attainable. You've got to get behind your good Catholic priest, your good Anglican priest, your good Baptist preacher, and so forth, your good Methodist. You've got to get behind them, and they together will bring us around because we demand it. Let me just give them an understanding here. Hello, we are depending upon God's people in every sphere, whatever you conceive him to be, and whatever denomination you may be of. I tell you, Leish Boyd was very good last night. I want to commend him publicly. Sometimes you need to say things like that. It depends on who says certain things for us to get to another level. I thought he was very good at the sit-on last night. And I think that there's a whole lot of things that can happen as a result of that. I think he has encouraged people in their own neck of the woods, their own different Protestant ministers and Methodist ministers and so forth, to go and speak truth to power to bring us around. That's what it's all about, you know. It's our country. This is our country, and we have to take good care of it. And these guys are just passing through. Christie and the whole lot of them, they're passing through. There'll be another group of politicians right behind them who will try to play crazy too. It's our duty to keep them in check. They don't run the show. They have been asked to be servants of the people, to go down there and create the kind of legislation that's going to make us a better country. If they can't do that, get the hell out of the way. Read my lips. Be gone. It's that simple. And so I started this conversation by saying things bad. I'll take this final call for sure now. Hard copy, how are you? Are you there? Okay. And I will end this conversation by telling you, things are not good. Don't let them tell you that. If they tell you things are good, you demand that they prove it. Just like I did in 2 hours today. I opened my lines and I tell you, if it's good, you tell me. Did you hear anybody say good? That's how you put truth and speak truth to power. You just put it on the table. Can't be afraid. If it's good, I'm willing to learn how good it is. But things aren't good. Things are terrible. We bankrupt. We're junk bond status. Our debt ratio to GDP is 75% and rising. Do you know what it's supposed to be, realistically, in any good country? Somewhere around 30% max. We at 75 and going through the ceiling, and we don't even know what that means. You'll know what it means when the woman who tells you from the Royal Bank of Canada that your currency is now threatened. Your currency, your dollar. You'll get it. You'll get the picture before long if you don't run these crazy ballheads out of town and restore good governance. You'll understand. Simple as that. Don't blame me. I'm telling you what it is. Don't blame me. And so I want to thank you all today for a very good conversation. There is hope. And it means that we, the people, have got to take it to the next level of demanding and really demanding. You don't have to demonstrate to demand this. You could demand this because of your action. That we are going to believe in those things that are good for the country. We're going to recommit ourselves to building a country. We're going to get sober and serious about what we are doing. We're going to pay attention. We're going to do our part to fight crime. We're going to do all of those things because that's what it's all about. And then and only then can we expect to see a country that's prosperous and bright with promise. All them young people I see on all these parades of the Free National Movement, the PLP got a lot of young people, the DNA got all these promising young people, the People's Movement, all these young, dynamic people. These are the ones who can build this country, whether you like it or not. And so we've got to give them our support. If it comes right down there and you can't find no party that you believe is worth your effort, find some individuals. Find the best individuals that you believe can take something to the parliament and lobby to make sure that we can get the right laws that we want. No more fooling around. Let us take charge. We are in charge. Let us take charge. And I hope that motivates you. So as I started, I tell you that things bad, and the truth be told, Sonny Johnson many years ago tell us how bad things were, that things was going so bad, you can't find no money on the ground. The people was out there hustling, trying to even get a cup of tea. That's how bad things were for you and me. We right back there again. We right back there again. Our show today has been brought to you by Bahamas Foot and Ankle, Mount Tabor Inspiration, Ministry of Tourism, Haji's Your Everything Store, Commonwealth Bank, Rocky Farms, the Free National Movement, Cool Tech, the Heyman Bury, Kalina Insurance, Superwash, Bank of the Bahamas, Super Value, the Shill Bistro, Advantage Insurance and Brokers, Ron's Electric Motors, Executive Printers, McKinney Media Group. And we bless them and thank them, and we wish them all the best in their business because these people make it happen every day to make sure that you can hear hard copy and you can get a chance to speak. And we love them and we thank God for them. And so we end the show tonight with that song from Sonny Johnson and the Sun Glows way back then. Y'all don't even know Sonny Johnson, but he was out of Freeport, Grand Bahama, Mr. La-Di-Da. And this is what he said, and it's true right now.
Sad breeze are blowing all around. Same man, what's up was going down. More people crying, saying things enough. And those who got they can't get enough. Say, Mr. Lawyer, please. All I need is a cup of tea. I can hardly walk, I can't make my knees. And my mama told me money don't grow on trees. Hey!
Well, that's what they say. Money don't grow on trees, but Alquitas in them, they got plenty money trees in the backyard. Good night from Hard Copy. We'll see you tomorrow, God willing.
I remember when I used to eat a lot.